Hello everyone, here we go with another video. I will have two more videos this week. I had two last week, so I think the trend is going to be two videos a week. This one, I know people are drafting already. I don't really understand why, but let's let things play out a little bit. But if you are, here are some standard draft strategies for just standard head-to-head, roto, just normal snake drafting. The first one is to deviate from your strategy. And a lot of these are counterproductive and they're kind of, you know, counter to some other strategies. And the way I did this is I just went to a lot of boards and forums and checked out a bunch of people's strategies, and I just picked some that I liked. So they are some of them are counter to another strategy, but it's also something that I really like. So the first one's to deviate from your strategy, and this is just simply if you have in mind to take a third baseman number one, and all good third basemen are taken. You're not gonna still take a third baseman. You're gonna deviate from that and take the best player available. That's another pretty decent strategy. I always go with the best player available. That's actually a valid ranking strategy that a lot of people use. Also, deviate from the rankings. If you like a player so much that it doesn't matter that he's actually ranked 20th and you're still in the first round or whatever, take him and be happy with your players. After all, you are doing this to have fun. Let's remember that. So my second one is to try to hit with your first three picks. So your first three picks should be pretty solid picks. They're going to be the foundation of your team. Everyone should know that. So you should always try to pick three guys that are going to carry you through weeks that most of the other guys aren't. So always try to pick three steady players in your first three picks. The next one is to have a backup plan for shortstop, third baseman, and second base. Now, this is where the deviate from your rankings comes in, because if you want a shortstop and you don't want to be looking for one, you rank a shortstop a little higher, so you might take Tulo in the second, instead of, I think he's going in the third, or you might take Tulo in the first because he's going in the second. So this is where deviating comes in. Into play. Also, if that's a little too high a price for you, then you have to have a backup for the guy you're probably not going to get. So you have to know that you want, Bogarts at that point, because that's someone that you wanted to get it in case you didn't have Tulo. This one's a pretty essential one. Don't follow the run, start the run. So if you're in the second round or third round and you start off, it's better to start off picking up pitchers yourself so you can get the one you want, instead of following it and getting a player that you don't want, but all the pitchers I've already been taken because everyone went on a pitcher run. So people say when they zig, you zag. That's generally the point. When everyone's taking these pitchers, some hitters are falling, and that's when you can get some good value out of hitters. So you got to know that. The next one is to know your league categories. That's pretty simple. You just know your league categories, know what your scoring settings are, know all of that. That can really enhance some players' value. Like in OPS leagues, a lot of the time people who get on base more are a little bit more valuable, just because they usually don't go on slumps. Next thing, know your position eligibility for your league. So in ESPN, I think Carlos Santana doesn't have catcher eligibility, I think. And in Yahoo, he does. He has catcher first and third. So just something to know. So that alone could make him a little bit more valuable as a catcher and third baseman than in ESPN. So that could be a reason he's ranked so high in Yahoo compared to ESPN. The next one is to have a plan. So you should always go into your rankings having a plan. I mean, even if you didn't do any studying, anything like that, at least for your first three rounds, know who you want. Have a semi plan that you're going to take this guy, and this is who you want. That just set you up for, trying to hit with your first three picks instead of, just winging it and taking whoever you want. You want to have a pretty decent plan that you're going to take, a third baseman, a pitcher, and that way you can kind of form your team around that. This is something else. Know your position scarcity in your player pool. Like shortstop is really scarce, so you should probably know that. You might want to take two. You never know. You might want to take Desmond. Also know your player pool. Know who's in there. Just that's pretty simple. Towards the later rounds, start taking chances. It's pretty. It's hard to know who's gonna be good. So take a lot of chances. If Carlos Gonzalez is still there and you still think he's gonna get injured, screw it, take a chance. He's too valuable sometimes, depending on round, to not be there. Sometimes you got to take a player that falls, and that's gonna be the guy that ends up winning your league. Lastly, be flexible. If it's so hard to actually have a plan and for that to go right, you have to do a lot of studying, a lot of knowing your league mates. That's probably, if you play with a bunch of randos, you're probably not gonna know their who they like, or who they want, as much as if you play with your friends, or if you play in the league that you've been in for 10 years. You kind of know their who they like, who they really want, and that just adds another layer to the strategy, because this guy's gonna take Miggy because he's from Detroit and he's a huge Tiger fan. So he's gonna take Miggy, so you can play off that and know you're gonna have that player coming up. But that's the last one. Just be flexible. Remember, we're trying to have fun here. We're trying to whoop on our friends. We're trying to do all this stuff, and you have to be flexible. Like I said, when they zig, you zag, or whatever the hell the saying is. So that's just something to keep in mind. I know a lot of people are starting to draft. There's a lot of how does my team look on the forum. So thanks for following me. I will be going to spring training in a couple weeks. I will be doing some vlogs there. I have never vlogged, so don't judge me for that. But I will be doing some, just food spots, and at the park they have some food trucks that are pretty good. So I'll be showing that if nobody's gone, and hopefully people can go next year. Probably meet up or something. Thanks for viewing. Subscribe. Much love. I will be coming out with auction draft strategies in a little bit as well. Thank you very much, and have a good day.